prioritize Cruel over Rhyme regardless as a first pick. They don't play Rhyme that much, and G2 could have easily secured that pick. But like you said, Tasty Bacon, Fnatic do go for the Ardent first pick, and I was going to say that, in my opinion, what's going to be the most influential hero in the game as far as what role is going to be the captain role, because Netatolete and Keanu both can enable their teams really well with what heroes they get. Fnatic might ban Lyra here just to take it away now that they have secured Ardent.
Yeah, and the Lyra ban could come out, but I feel like G2 won't mind if the Lyra gets banned, because Keanu can play a multitude of other heroes. The Grace would be available. Could, maybe we see them try and pull out the Churnwalker. We still haven't seen too many other teams putting an emphasis on that hero, but the Grace is another option too. So they have choices as far as the captains go if the Lyra is taken off the board, but you do love to get that healer.
And the pedal ban coming from G2 after they have secured Cruel, in my opinion, that's very smart also, because now Fnatic don't have too many options that they can play against the Cruel that works too well. What could work is either the Samuel or the Sky. Sky, in my opinion, is still incredibly underestimated here in Europe. It could work against so many different heroes that are being played in the meta. I really hope Fnatic picks up, but regardless, they do ban the Lyra that we mentioned.
Yeah, so for this pick, G2, they don't have to go for a captain here. They could just save the captain and go for a pick that they feel is strong, or they go for the captain, which they are going to do, and then have that counter pick available. And I feel like that's where the route a lot of teams are going right now in the draft, is to try and make sure that they save that counter pick for last. They could even, kind of force Fnatic to think about going a Baptiste regardless of what they were doing, just to break up the Baptiste-Catherine combo potential. But Dark Potato, we haven't really seen much of a Baptiste from him, so it's, or at least not impactful Baptiste.
Well, if they don't really have to, just because they have already picked up Cruel. It would be very surprising if they played Cruel in lane or Baptiste in lane, just to have that combo with the Catherine. Regardless, Fnatic do pick up Vox, and in my opinion, that's one of the stronger picks that you can go for against the Cruel and the Catherine, just because of how easily you're able to cut away. At the same time, though, because of your low range, it's difficult or risky. Your positioning is very crucial.
Well, with the Reza, it looks like we're going to be having a very brawl-focused composition, because this Fnatic squad, they like to fight. This lineup with these heroes is a very fight-focused composition. So look for G2 to maybe pick someone who they feel can match that brawl. We could see Hondur, perhaps onto a Rona pick again, but they could also see him go for something that, can deal with being a backline when these brawls break out. Something like the Celeste could be on the cards. Yeah,
like the Celeste you mentioned could be definitely on the cards. If they wanted to go a more regular weapon power hero, would be the Kestrel. She's still open, works well against the Vox, works well against the Ardent, and even Reza, you're able to kite him away if he dives on you with your trap. So, depending on which route G2 decides to go, it's either going to be the Kestrel or something CP such as the Celeste or the Scarf, but they do go with the Kestrel.
Kestrel will come out in the end there. And I mean, you mentioned the Scarf briefly there. Scarf, after getting a significant buff in 2.9 or 2.9.1, we've barely ever seen Scarf coming out. That's a conversation for a different time. Let's talk about these two compositions. How are we feeling this one's going to go?
This one's going to be, it should be really fun, because it's a lot of fighting that's going to be happening, especially towards the mid game. If Fnatic get any sort of lead early on, once they get this Reza past the early game point, they're going to be looking for fights almost nonstop.
I agree, and it's also going to be about how that Cruel versus Reza matchup is going to go. Cruel usually does come out ahead, but we have seen some Rezas being able to outplay the Cruel and get leads, steal a few camps away. And then later on, it's going to be the story of Kestrel versus Vox, who's going to be able to outplay one another, and it's more on the players. Setno JJ versus Hondur is going to be an exciting match.
Yeah, just the micro in that matchup is always exciting to watch. Can you dodge the glimmer shots? Who's going to get the initial hit on it? So much to watch in that kind of setup. It's going to be an incredibly exciting game. Don't forget to get in touch with us on Twitter using that hashtag Vainglory8 to let us know who you think is going to be able to take this one. But it's time to sink our teeth into G2 Esports going up against Fnatic. This is going to be one hell of an exciting game, so let's pass it over to the casters and get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the matchup between Fnatic and G2 Esports. This is going to be a wonderful series here, and this means so much for both of these teams. I'm here with Sean Austino. Sean, who's the favorite here?
Well, it's hard to say, Humanist. There's a lot of stuff that could happen in between Fnatic and G2 right now. My personal favorite is I'm going for G2. I've been liking the way they've been playing the last few weeks. It's going to be really tough for Fnatic to take them down, but Fnatic had a really good showing yesterday too.
They looked good.
Yeah, they looked really good. They're only 6 points apart right now in the standings. So Fnatic can catch up if they win this weekend and shut out G2. Don't allow them to get any points, just 2-0 them. It's going to be a tough task, but if they're able to do that, then they're going to be able to catch up. And that's going to be really fascinating to see. We're going to have to see Fnatic actually kite away from the Cruel, because he is such a huge threat right now. But speaking about the Cruel, on the G2 side, we're gonna. Oh, looks like there's an engage. Nope, they're backing away.
Nah, that was just Nettoilette stealing the Elder Treant there with the little self Vanguard.
Yeah, little self Vanguard is the best when you are this Arden. You can always get 1 movement speed, do a little bit of damage at the ground beneath you, move away. So the double stun is going to be very important. Actually, we have triple stun with the active camo as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of lockdown potential, especially if you're looking to chase Hundor anywhere on the map.
Yeah, and this Cruel too. It looks like we are going double weapon power here. We should definitely point that out. Cruel, Dark Potato here. He's going to have to build Bonesaw at some point. That way they can actually shred the armor very effectively from Fnatic to be able to make more of an impact with these Glimmer shots coming out here.
Now, our analyst talked about the Cruel wanting to put pressure on the Reza early, not letting him come online. At what point are we going to see this? Dark Potato, he's been pretty much on his side of the jungle the whole time so far.
He has been, but if you can do it early game to mid game, that's going to probably be best. Deny him that experience and gold. Deny him getting his Aftershock. Aftershock is what's going to be really a big power spike.
They're fighting over the Elder Treant right here, right now. Actually, Dark Potato grabs it. He took a lot of damage. Spectral Smite's on cooldown. Deadman's Rush as well. That's not enough healing with the Healing Flask. He turns it. A lot of weakness stacks on both Palmator and Nettoilette. They drop off net, but he keeps them on Palma with the Healing Flask. Dark Potato 471 damage. Chops him down. First blood.
That was amazing, and he doesn't even have CP items yet, but he's level 4. He's got an advantage over Palmatoro, and that's why he was able to do that so well. He didn't shy away. He just kept coming back and doing more damage. The Spectral Smite, the weakness stacks that are building up, they really reduce the damage output coming out of this Reza. I feel like if G2 is able to focus Reza early, like they've been doing already with this first kill, first blood going over to G2, then they're going to be able to have themselves the game here.
Yeah, it was an interesting situation, one that felt like they definitely were going to kill Dark Potato, so I can understand why they got into that little engagement there. But Dark Potato, this guy, he's one of the best Krolls in the world, and he just showed it.
Yeah, he just showed it. Looks like we do have an Eclipse Prism actually being built up. Double Crystal Bit for Palmatoro as well, so he's definitely working towards what looks to be the Aftershock. And Elder Treant.
Little troublemaker. You are Palmatoro, able to secure the Elder Treant. Good job.
If you are Fnatic in this situation, you do have a lot of mobility. Arden, of course, he has a lot of mobility with throwing out his Vanguards. He's able to jump a lot with Blood for Blood as well. Techno JJ and Palmatoro can move. Keanu Nakoa.
Keanu Nakoa. Taking a little bit of damage there. Palmatoro takes a turret shot, but no harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul. Everybody's still alive so far as per this engagement. Palmatoro rotating back, and so he can actually move around a lot with his Troublemaker, and that's actually good too. He's not unlike Vox in that Vox has his Sonic Zoom, but he only has 1 charge on that, whereas Troublemaker can get up to 2 charge. In the past, 2 charges. In the past update. Oh no, it's going low.
Hundor would have gone down if he did not have that Healing Flask right there. He's going to be just fine. Gets all of his last hits in the way. Dark Potato's made a way up. Scout Trap, though, reveals that Dark Potato probably gets a kill if there's no Scout Trap there.
Yeah, probably would have gotten that juicy kill. But there's another possible kill here. If Palmatoro reveals himself, he's able to Troublemaker away, thankfully. But yeah, Cruel just needs to gank. If he's able to gank very early, frequently here in game, he has level 6, so he's able to throw out his From Hell's Art. It will stun up the opposing team members. That's going to be really good. Fountain of Renewal actually picked up by Nettoilette.
Moving forward, they got almost stunned up. We'll go ahead and Nether Form detonate backwards. A little bit of a defensive movement there. Not really a problem. It doesn't look like Palmatoro is going to be trying to fight anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. We have the Blazing Salvo and Piercing Spear picked up by Dark Potato. Looks like he's working towards that Tension Bow. It's going to give him some really good burst damage. It did get a little bit of a buff just to compensate for the health changes. We do see it doing 240 damage now when it's procced, along with the additional damage that you do have. Aftershock.
Do you know what we saw yesterday, though? We did see some Krulls go Bonesaw in a double weapon comp.
We did see them go Bonesaw on a double weapon comp, so I would prefer to see him go Bonesaw here. And that would really, like we talked about earlier, shred the armor. But Palmatoro picking up this Aftershock, that's going to allow him to do bonus damage after or during his attacks when he procs it. And coupled with the bonus damage that you get from Troublemaker, that could be a lot of damage potential coming out from Palmatoro.
Woo! Hello, Dark Potato! Get scorched. And he takes a nice little chunk of damage right off the bat. They know that Skrull is up here. Net has the flare. You see Scorcher just coming through in case Dark Potato is hanging out in the edge of that brush right there. Fnatic not going to be caught by surprise. More Scorcher coming out. Just looking to apply that fire starter and make Dark Potato think twice about any sort of engage here. You get into these kind of standoff situations many times, Sean, with these teams where if neither one has an advantage, they just kind of sit there waiting.
We were just talking about Bonesaw. It is picked up by Dark Potato. Bonesaw confirmed. He's going to be able to shred that armor very, very quickly. We don't see that much armor actually being picked up, and we know that with these carries, they don't prioritize armor too much. We do see a reflex block for Techno JJ. We do see a light armor as well picked up by Palmatoro, but the Counter is going in a little bit.
Yeah, he was looking for that Merciless Pursuit stun on to Techno. Techno got the Vanguard, bonus move speed, and was able to just get out of range there, but not really a problem. Hundor does get his farm there. Hundor doing pretty good for himself, 78 last hits here, 7.5 minutes in. Same thing for Techno JJ, so a very even lane matchup thus far.
Yeah, very even. But if you look, it's actually even as well in the jungle. 42 and 42 CS for Palmatoro and Dark Potato. So it's pretty much a bit of a stalemate so far. But the Gold Miner getting focused by G2.
They're going for the Gold Miner. I mean, this is where a Bonesaw can actually help you out here. They're not taking it quickly enough, but it's good bait because Dark Potato can hold it by himself. No problem right there. Now the form detonating forward. It's going to be the Gauntlet going down. This is Dark Potato able to grab the Gold Mine. And now if they turn this, they're looking for the Brigoose. Blast Trimmer only caught Net there, I think, on the edge, and they were pretty far away, so didn't really want to chase that one down. But they still have one shot, one kill, and from Hell's Heart available. They're going to move forward. Where's the stun? Who's the target? Net Toilette stunned up. What's the play? They got him! Still have the From Hell's Heart. G2 can do whatever they want here. They also still holding their Fountain, Sean. Dead Man's Rush in. A pretty wild play by Dark Potato. I guess not too wild. Calculated. He knows how much damage he's going to take there. Fountain. They look for the chase. Oh! Just on the pixel edge. Palmatoro, man, that might have cut the edge off of his cape there.
It might have skimmed his booty a little bit too, but this they're sieging this turret pretty well.
What trouble? The Netherform Detonator over the top side. Hundor with the Troublemaker. Does he have the burst damage? Palmatoro throws himself right into a trap, gets chopped down. Techno, he's going to be able to get the Vanguard and get himself out of here. I think he used a Reflex as well and a Healing Flask. One shot blocked off by Net. Didn't have the line anyway. Woof. Crazy plays here.
Crazy plays. Now we see that armor is being prioritized by both sides, actually. We have the Atlas Pauldron picked up by Keanu Nakoa. Atlas Pauldron picked up by Palmatoro. What's great about Palmatoro is because he can get in there with those troublemakers, he wants to be in the fight, and then he wants to kite away from the fight while he's allowing his abilities to cool down. So he's able to get off Atlas Pauldrons, reduce the attack speed, especially out of Dark Potato. We know that if Cruel is not able to hit as much, then he's not able to as frequently get his weakness stacks up, and he's not as frequently able to apply that Bonesaw stack as well.
It's really interesting. It feels like it's going to set him behind in the Crystal Path, but it's definitely going to help them as a team. So we'll just have to see how it's going to play out here. Strategy making its way into the game.
Yeah, and it looks like we are at about 2,000 gold lead for G2 at the moment. 3 kills, 9 minutes in. And yeah, things are looking a little grim here for Fnatic.
How grim are they? They're not too far behind in the net worth. I mean, is it just the fact that G2 kind of have just actual control, like dictating the pace of the game?
I feel like they are dictating the pace. If you look at the gold mine steal, we did have that one actually go over to G2, and with the turret, it's down to half health. So if you're looking at the advantages overall, they're stacking up for G2. Of course, it could still swing the way of Fnatic, but we've got to have G2 maintain the pressure. Atlas Pauldron actually picked up by Dark Potato as well, so he wants to dive in there and he wants to reduce those breaking point stacks that are going to be used by Techno JJ.
Oof, this gets harder and harder to deal with now. You've got stuns to deal with, 2 Atlas Pauldron now. Net stunned up there, a lot of burst damage coming out from the Kestrel. The chase is on, Troublemaker Ford, Hundor. He's caught out there. Oh, but the Gauntlet a little bit shy. Nether Form Detonator over the top side. Keanu trying to kite back under the turret. Healing Flash turns around with the Blast Trimmer, blocked off. The chase is on, Dark Potato. He finds the stun onto Techno. The damage is starting to build up, couple weakness stacks. Hundor's got to get in range. He's just slightly out of range to really just rain down attacks and glimmers there and burst the target. You can tell G2 kind of be a little bit unhappy with that swing and a miss.
Yeah, a big swing and a little miss there, but we did have that that boomerang come out. We actually had the From Hell's Heart land, but because they weren't able to capitalize on the stun, Keanu Nakoa wasn't near there to use his Merciless Pursuit. Then Techno JJ was able to get away, Sonic Zoom away with no problem. If they're able to chain their CC, maybe even throw in an active camo trap in there, then they would really lock up some of the members of Fnatic and just be able to focus them down.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for them to get an active camo down on the front lines. Of course, yeah, Fnatic's chasing. That's how it's going to happen right there. Good damage coming out. You see from Hundor, of course, Palmatoro makes his way up towards the lane. He needs to help his team hold this lane. They don't want this turret to go down. I mean, it gives so many advantages over to G2.
Yeah, look at Keanu Nakoa, Humanist. He actually has only 14 Captain of the Guard stacks at 12 minutes in. Usually 2 to 3. 3 would be godly to be getting those amount of Captain of the Guard stacks every minute, but he's sitting a little bit behind, and that's something that we need Catherine to do. We need Catherine to get tankier as the game goes on. Looks like he actually is building into a Echo as well. He's got that Void battery in his pocket, so that's going to be able to help them with double blast trimmers really engage or disengage from team fights if they happen to not be going their way.
Yeah, I mean, definitely they've done a good job blocking them thus far. Well, Net with that Crucible has done a good job thus far, but yeah, when 2 come out, it's going to be much harder to deal with. G2 as a unit, Keanu on the front line looking to reflect some damage for his team. Flare is out. Fnatic are within range to be engaged upon. Do they know Dark Potato's there? Well, they do now. Dark Potato empowered up in the top brush. He'll move down. This is just a game of positioning. Both teams looking for an opening here. Net moves forward. A little blood for blood action. Dark Potato continues to meander from the top to the bottom to the top side of the lane. Looks like we're actually going to have just a recall back by Keanu. He's got to pick something up here. Oh, that's his Echo. We got the Echo.
That's the Echo, Humanist, and we also do have 2 Tyrant's Monocles and a Sora Blade on Hundor, but he's going low.
Hundor's going to be okay. He escapes, dips out with that active camo. Now Keanu is here. Keanu has Atlas Pauldron, Fountain, Echo. I'm ready for Keanu Nakoa to make some plays. How about you, Sean?
I sure am ready for him to make some plays. He needs to initiate. He's got to throw out these blast trimmers at the precise times to engage. So we see him right now in the tri-bush. He's scouting out a little bit. I'd like to see him throw down some more scout traps and get a little bit more vision control, because all he has are flares right now. But we know vision is so important, especially at this point in the game. We're about 1 minute away from the Kraken respawning. 0 to 3 right now in favor of G2, and we have about a little over 2,000 gold lead, close to 3,000 gold lead for them. So they could still have Fnatic push back on them pretty hard. The first turret for Fnatic isn't even down yet. Broken Myth picked up by Palmatoro, so he's going to get some pretty good shield pierce, and we don't see a lot of shielding. We actually don't see any shielding. Well, all we see are reflex blocks on the side of G2 at the moment.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you talk about all the ways he can apply damage. This Troublemaker, Blocks is able to Sonic Zoom around the fight. They're elusive. But if a huge blast trimmer comes through, it doesn't matter. You're going to get chopped down. You're going to have to be very careful here. Palma has no block. Yeah,
Palma has no block, but he could use his Nether Form Detonator to get out of there as well. Look at this, Humanist. Double Bonesaw on Hundor and Dark Potato. Woo!
Double Bonesaw.
That's going to be a beautiful thing. There goes that turret. Finally.
That is a beautiful thing. Now, stun from Keanu Nakoa moving forward. Troublemaker buys a little bit of space. He echoes up the stun. The From Hell's Heart. The Glimmer shots, another form detonator, buying a little time. Palm of the Fountain comes out. Blast Tremor hits. They've already lost Palmatoro, and G2 find a massive win with only 1 kill.
Oh man, and Techno JJ is porting back now. They're taking this Kraken so fast. Netwillet poking out a little bit to try to contest, but it looks like he got baited into it.
That was so smart. Okay, actually, yeah, Hundor is going to look to chase him down. Dark Potato can finish off Kraken by himself. Glimmer shot, 647 damage as Hundor tears through Netwillet's health bar. Amazing play. Sean, you know what I loved about that last engagement? It was that Keanu echoed his Merciless Pursuit instead of saving it for that big ultimate echo.
Yeah, this was really good. See, just getting the stuns and saving them for the opportune moments are what really matter here. When he came down in his Nether Form detonator, he wasn't able to do anything, even with that reposition, and he just got deleted from the fold. They're sieging up this turret pretty well, though.
Sieging up this turret incredibly well. Dark Potato has this ultimate available. Let's see how this is going to play out. Dark Potato moving forward, looking for an opportunity. Hundor dropping low, active camo down. They turn around and just delete Palmatoro. We still have Gauntlet available. Netwillet not pulling the trigger on it, still holding the Fountain and the Crucible, but sometimes one of your teammates just get burst down so incredibly quickly that you don't think that you should be pulling the trigger there. The siege continues here from G2. Looks like they're probably going to lose this choke point turret as well. Hundor is incredibly low. Maybe looking to bait Fnatic into this potentially. Keanu, he's going to echo up that the second stun is actually blocked off there. I think Net used Crucible for the second stun, so they're doing pretty good. Kraken still quite healthy. Gauntlet's going to come down, stuns up the Potato. Keanu moving back. Hundor's low as well. Starts to rain a couple glimmers. Another form detonator over the top side. Now it's found. They turn around. Palmatoro dropping low. Blast Tremor lands onto all 3. Merciless Pursuit. They're going to be able to lock down Techno. Oh, but they're able to get off of that, buying enough time for Hundor to move into the Vein Crystal turret. He gets another active camo. Can they lock this castle down? They finally get the kill. Kraken's still alive. Techno dropping low. Dark Potato's there. He's able to get that one. Now Dark Potato left alone in a 2 versus 1. He's got an Atlas Pauldron. He's onto the Vein Crystal. The Kraken chunking through it. It looks like G2 are going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. G2 taking game 1.
G2 taking it to Fnatic in game 1 here, 2-7 in favor of G2 in this first game. Really well done. Just a stranglehold, controlling the tempo and the pace of the game. That's what ended up winning G2 this game. Just the stuns, the chaining CC, the double bone saw. We only see 1 weapon power item on Dark Potato. Look at that. But he was just able to do so much work. They were able to pierce the armor and just whittle down, focus Palmatoro too. He's got 4 deaths there.